Now, what in the hell ritual did I walk into? So at the very, very beginning of the game, we turned on Steam. I'm wondering if that Steam powered that. Well, this definitely has power now. I just need a 5-digit combo. That book, I am pretty sure, was taken by the Black Moiety, which were the rebels. Today, I heard several more reports of spirit sightings by some of the villagers. That lady who saved us at the beginning and let us out of the linking cage when we first got to Riven, was dressed in all black, and I'm assuming she is Black Moiety because of that. Due to the rebels' continued disturbances, I've decided to install a coded access system into all of the domes, where we saw another dome. That's where we saw another spinny dome up there, but we didn't know what it was at the time because we couldn't get a very good angle at it. Like a pathway up was access to another dome right here. So this is showing the different symbols on the actual rotating dome. And again, more offerings to some kind of creature, some kind of cage, which is very reminiscent of the cage that's on the throne. That almost looks like an origami representation of like that fish. So these must be like the creatures of Gin, or then something. Are Gin's guardians, or the Gin's religious animals, or you don't cross Gin, otherwise you get punished. This shows the colors. Yeah, that would be orange. I'm pretty sure this one's just a horizontal line on a light. Dome 2 is green, Dome 4 is yellow. Like 3 different data sets for this one thing, so that's freaking crazy. I am still attempting to determine how the dunny color symbology reflects this superior design principle. This is a map of Riven. We have a linking book. One of the few in this game, actually. I think it's amazing that one of the mechanics that made Myth so interesting, they insanely dumbed down for the sequel. You would think they would have gone crazy with the linking, but the fact that players had so fun using the linking books in the first one, and then them showing restraint in the second, in the sequel, made the linking in Riven that much more special. The fact that you're like, oh my gosh, I found a linking book. I think that is some fantastic choices they made to actually show the restraint on how many linking books they had in the sequel. And this image is actually the cover of the original game, this tree. And I think we found the hideout for the Black Moiety. The tree with all the windows. Let's let's see what awaits us. Look at the smoke coming out of the top of that. You're excited to see what the Moiety Hive looks like in the remake? That's one image they haven't. They're not going to release it. We're going to have to play and find out. Which, as I said yesterday, as soon as that Riven remake comes out, I don't care if we're in the middle of another game. I'm putting that game on pause and we're playing the Riven remake. I am immensely excited to play the Riven remake. What are you? You almost look like some kind of like plague doctor or something. Well, oh, hi. Oh. Man. That was not good. Look at like the birds flying very faintly behind the tree. Yeah, it's the guy that took our book and the... Well, that is the guy in the jail cell, wasn't it? Oh, he was a lookout. He went and told them to expect me. Well, I sure made them wait. Oh. That's where we linked in, right down there. We're in the tree. Are we in a prison cell? That could not have been comfortable to lay on at all. Dude, look at this. That is gorgeous. It is extremely reminiscent of the village, actually, from Village Island. Just like on a bigger scale. Also, it's a cutscene. I can't move. You can like see someone like in the window over there. Hi. Is that that's the guy from the jail cell, isn't it? The outfit looks very similar. He's just like moving around in there. Okay, we can move now. That whole cutscene was just us seeing the guy back there. Yeah, built by the same culture with the same sensibilities. They're just these people don't agree with Gen or can see through Gen's facade or his BS. Another cutscene. Who's entering the room? Oh, hi.
Katrina now da saya palo. Yapa ay manay yalepo. Miotisay. Bekaretere wira pe yelo kene falapo. Tisay. Why te falupe?
I don't know what you're saying, but you gave me a book. That was the lady from the beginning who stole our trap book, isn't it? Oh, wow. We now have 3 books. Again, you can't see the inventory because I have it cut off to extend to make the game itself as full screen as possible. But I have 3 books in my inventory now. This is the notes that we read. More reading. I'll read that in a second. This is now the first time you are capable of getting a bad ending. Uh-oh. What is this? That's Dunny. This is the trap book. I am not clicking on that. Okay. Oh. We have the trap book. Oh, God. Okay. I wasn't expecting that to be that easy. Wait. What is this? Okay. I linked to Riven a week ago. The smell of the place overwhelmed me moments before I could see anything. With my sight only partially cleared, I stood motionless, peering ahead through a dim veil which was slowly lifting. There was something clearly and has happened. I remember breathing slowly and very deeply, testing the familiar Riven air, but not recognizing a thing. I must have been hit with a I must have been hit with the dart right away. I thought it was a insect bite at first. I'm trying to remember it all, but it's difficult maybe because of the DRNG Durng. There was a voice, a man I did not recognize stood before me. Rivenese though he was wearing dunny dress, and he seemed to be talking to me. Though the poison was already taking effect, a shadow crept in and I fell asleep. That's very reminiscent to how we actually came to Riven too. There was a guy, and what I'm going to assume is Dunny Ware, because I think about it, that first guy that we saw, and a few of the people that we saw that are on Gin's side wear stuff similar to what Atrus actually wears. So it does seem like Gin is having them take on the Dunny culture and turn wear what the Dunny wear. So who is this? Who is writing this? Then there were many voices, but I understood none of them. Like hundreds of people whispering, I couldn't wake up. No matter. The DRGAM, Dragum? Or the dream. The dream did end. And now to be here with it's high. It's been, what the heck is this? Oh my gosh, there's a note within a note. Oh, okay. That's actually hilarious. Okay. It's been too many years. It's been so many years. I didn't realize how much I missed her. Like a piece of me that I had forgotten, I'd lost. She's beautiful and so full of warmth. But the years have also left her with a wound which was not there when we were children. Is whoever's writing this referring to Riven as her? Like the age itself as her? I do not wish I do not wish she were more interested. It seems like I'm asking all the questions. It's awkward. No one asks me where I've been or what I've been doing. This this lasts, but this hurts, but I understand it. Their their fears are from out. Their but wait, their beliefs, their fears are from out of ignorance and apprehension. They are gentle people, but they've had their nest destroyed, and now they frantically cling to anything that might save them. Okay, let's read this note. I write quietly from my prison. Catherine. Oh, is this Catherine? Oh, Catherine, you write worse than Gin. I can't read this. uh, near Will Will's next year book with moiety enter upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was not written by Atrus for a very specific purpose. Gin will, desi- Gin will desire to something that's, I think that's intentionally made to where I can't read that. Although he may have suspicions. If you can find my prison, you will still need the combination to you use it. Oh, there's a space. I thought that was like covering up letters. Okay, to use it. Although he may have suspicions, if you can find my prison, you will still need the combination to rescue me. Gin keeps it in his office. Then I assume we're to signal Atrus. I think I know how it might be done, but don't signal him before I am released, Catherine. Okay. Okay. I think the important part of this I've gotten. So there's a combination that I need to release Catherine, and Gin keeps it in his office. Like the office we'd already been at? So Catherine release combination in Gin's office. Okay. And then after, so yeah, order of operations is I need to free Catherine, then signal Atrus to escape. I'm assuming capture Gin before I free Catherine. Okay. I'm confused. As a child, I always felt out of place here. I never belonged. They misunderstood me, and I couldn't relate to them. But now I'm overwhelmed by the intense feeling that I owe everything to them and this place. I thought I would never see them again, and yet I'm here. I've s- I've been given this second chance, but a second chance at what? Serving them, fulfilling their prophecies, being their server? Like some weird doodles, like a half moon, a sun, like cloud, and like scribbles out over an eye. Being their savior. Okay. The moiety, Atrus would want me to chronicle all that I've learned. I can at least record some of it. It seems that when Atrus and I trapped again on Riven many years ago, our efforts were witnessed by most of the inhabitants here. Two of two of these Rivenese even witnessed the confrontation with Gin at the fissure, where I linked back to Mist and where Atrus threw himself into the abyss. Of course, they understood little of what they were seeing, but they somehow were able to guess that we had won, that Gin was no god at all, but only a a fickle imposter, a false god, and that we had trapped him in here on Riven, or trapped him here on Riven. I always hoped that they moved, or I was hoped that they would deduce this simple truth, but their further conclusions have astonished me. Atrus had stripped Gin of his power, therefore Atrus must be the true god. As a god, he was choosing me, the spiritual misfit from a Rivenese woman, to be his wife. I was transcending into div- deity or divinity and would come over and would something over Riven forever. Thus, the moiety, as they called themselves, were the dissident society sworn enemies of Gin. Wow. Okay. I did not know of these beliefs regarding Atrus and myself until 2 days ago. I'm assuming that's a name, actually. So, whatever that name is, someone was, for some reason, hesitant to tell me. I can't figure out why. I know she doesn't believe these things. Of course, everyone, she assumed, of course, everyone, she assumed that I would be aware of my own god status. Eddie? Eddie, okay. So they made no effort to inform me. I only realized it at a recent gathering to which I was invited. I sat at the front of a dimly lit and crowded cave as they told a mythical story of my own life, acting out the battle between Atrus, myself, and Gin at the edge of the fissure. The events had then, or the events had been exaggerated into into grandiose proportions. It was offensive, but I was unable to stop it. I was unable to break the illusion, which is the very foundation of their hope and purpose, and which had given them courage to band together and rebel against Gin. Since then, I've learned of other doctrines and beliefs that had evolved, the most disturbing of which is the conviction that one day I would return to Riven to free them. Some believe that I will overthrow Gin. Others believe that I will bring them to paradise. I don't know how to deal with this. I fight with it myself. I love these people, my only kindred, but they will not love me as an equal, which hurts me. I would rather be their slave than their master. Oh my gosh, that's wow. She wasn't their equal before she left, but then because of the events that took place, all of a sudden she's a god. Now all she wants is just to be part of the society. She doesn't want to be special. She just wants to be part of it, and she can't. That's wow. Over the years, as Gen's powers have become greater and greater, the moiety's numbers here, or the moiety's numbers have grown, and they have become more and more adept at hiding themselves. They now live in a complex network of caves that he still has not discovered. The moiety, for the most part, have completely severed their relationships with many of the Rivenese that choose against believing them. But I hope they're not. I hope they've not sacrificed ritual lambs in order to something the chance. Even father and mother are still on the surface in Gin's domain, and I long to see them. But dimness shrouds Eddie's face every time I mention them. Since this took place, they have something to surface in in superficial ways, occasionally sabotaging one of Gin's constructions or stealing food from the villagers. Oh, dude, this is brutal trying to read this. They wear strange masks and costumes, drawing their or during their short forays to the island surface, and take this very seriously, neglecting to be seen by anyone outside the moiety, and uh, unless they seem properly afraid. They get much pleasure out of the fact that those on the surface are frightened of their costumes. Something basically they're thinking that the villagers are thinking they're ghosts or spirits, basically. It was during one of these expeditions that they fortuitously rescued me from one of Gen's people. I'm assuming that's like another proper noun for what one of Gen's like soldiers or something. When I first appeared on the island. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have been delivered to Gan immediately. I've no doubt that he's now searching for me. Of course, I am now Of course, I now realize that I was fooled. Atrus is not here. I was at first devastated by this realization. Now I am thankful. He would be in extreme peril here. Also, there is a giant something voice, an echoing remnant that wants him far away. I have just watched an age dying, gasping its last breath. Today, I revisited, or I ventured to the surface to see what had become of this island. I hoped it would not be as bad as the moiety had reported. I was wrong. They have become slowly accustomed to a steady decay, but I was devastated. The lips from which the something is wrought has fallen words will fall cold beneath. Oh my gosh. My brain is literally scrambling the letters in my head now. uh they won't form which city to get to the surface. We had to traverse through a complex series of doors and passages before the last of these doors. They offered me a weapon, which I accepted, and then a mask. I held this mask in my hands for a while, wondering what sort of terror it might invoke in those memories of my family who will live on the surface. But I also know that I must keep my identity hidden from Gen's ever vigilant eyes. So I accepted it as well. Then together we surface a short expanse and emerged out of the surface of the ocean under a rocky overhang. The harsh sunlight made my eyes sting, but the fresh, rich air was exhilarating after the past weeks in the dark caves. The two men with me were silent, communicating only with hand signals. The three of us emerged from our hiding place and made our way to the top of the plateau. At the edge of the thick and overgrown area of this forest, they stopped, peered through the foliage, and foliage for a moment, and then turned to me as if awaiting my command, but could not respond. In fact, I found it's difficult to more. I was smelling, hearing, and breathing my youth. Oh, I found it difficult to move. I was smelling, hearing, and breathing my youth. This swept over me in a matter of seconds, but in seconds more, all feeling was gone. Then there was numbness. We did not stay long on the surface, but it was long enough to see the worst Riven, which was once one island, has split into 5 distinct pieces, about half a mile apart. 4 of these have been claimed by Gin in his exclusive domain. Only his minions and personal militia are ever allowed to access them. From my vantage point at the edge of the forest, I could see 3 of these islands. They were stripped of their former beauty and riddled with Gen's self absorbed constructions. The moiety rarely visit these closely guarded places. We were actually talking about that earlier when we were trying to figure out exactly what we were doing. We were talking about how the hideout for the moiety was most likely on the village island because of how much control Gin had over the other islands. Obviously, we didn't know anything about the singular Tetris piece island, but now we from this we can gather that Gin also has control over that one. There's another island which I could not see as it had evidently crept away to a terrific distance. The moiety are very unclear as to what exists on this island, except for the fact that they know it is where the giant tree used to exist. Huh. The forest is located on the island. That the forest located on the island that the surface dwellers and the moiety still refer to as Riven. Oh, so the village island is actually just referred to as Riven now, and then there's the other island. Okay, interesting. But they also still refer to as the center world as Riven. Or they also still refer to the entire world as Riven. So the village island is Riven Island, basically, because that's where everyone lives. But then also the age itself is called Riven. This island is where the villagers, which the village, which has changed dramatically, it is also the one remaining. I'm assuming that means like safe haven. I'm not sure what the word says, but I'm assuming like the one remaining safe haven of the people through Gin's influence, though Gin's influence can be seen everywhere. That's the bridge connecting Crater Island to Dome Island, isn't it? And then the 3 dots are the tram systems. Then this is Map Island, and this is Village Island. Of course, I know the reason for the fracturing of the island. The moiety do not. Gin wrote this place, and it will die, as all of Gin's ages eventually die. I feel nothing today. I am nothing. I live in a cave on a dying world inhabited by people that they are treating me strangely. They don't know how to relate to a god. I'm still an outcast here. They whisper amongst themselves, talking of my something drawing, my excursion to the surface, and how I walked across the island, bold and unafraid. They don't know me. Even Eddie is uncomfortable around me. At times, there is no awkwardness, and I am every something to her. But other times, I'm something else. I'm afraid. There's such a great remembrance inside me. Today, I do not feel closeness with my people, neither am I offended by their worship of me. I do not hate Gen, I do not feel anything. I am not even sure of at least Nick is still close. Was she drawing the 5-star of Gen? and then scratch it out. I am boiling. I am. Gin is making and writing books. I wish they had told me sooner. Atrus should have realized this would happen, of course. Gin would have written all the materials necessary to the dunny craft of making books into this age, and possibly every other age he ever wrote. He is attempting to write his way out of here. We did not imprison him, we merely delayed him. This age has become his factory, and the people his machines. All something in his mad pursuit to become a god, to carry his own some to carry his own version of Denis. Like so he's trying to create his own version of Denis, right? Because Denis fell, and now he's trying to create his own version of Denis. So far, he has not been able to produce a fully functional book. Atrus has never believed in destroying, but I don't know what else to call it. It's too perfect. It's too much of a coincidence. They have on every. Oh, Atrus has never believed in destiny, but I don't know what else to call it. It's too perfect. It's too much a coincidence. They hang on to my every word, though they do not understand them. I am their hope, and now I have returned. She's letting the godness kind of get to her head here a little bit. I owe this to them. There is no choice. This is showing the ice cream machine, showing the lever, the pipe. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't show a combo though. It's been a long time since my last entry. It is hard to recognize, but I have found the fissure. It is located on the island, which the Rivenese call Allapo, Alapo, meaning water pool, but which is referred to by the moiety as pool of stars, whatever that word is. Oh, here's the combo for. Wait, is the ice cream machine the entrance to the fissure? Oh, crap. Okay. Having once allowed Atrus to escape this age without leaving an open door behind us, it has since been sealed with a skin of heavy iron. A capsule telescope, I'm assuming because I kind of figured that was a telescope, has been mounted over a locked viewport, the combination to which was acquired by the moiety before my arrival. Let me write this down. Okay. So this is the ice cream code, I'm going to call it. And it is a bunch of Dunny's symbols. 2, 3, 4, 5. We got that one. We got that. So that looks like 4, 2, 3, 3, 3. Oops, I screwed that up. It looks like 4, 2, 3, 3, 3. Okay. In the early days, the moiety seeking an escape from Riven briefly persuaded the side of reopening the fissure. They discovered a small mechanical stop to prevent the scope from hitting the portal window. Ultimately, however, they decided against opening it. Okay. I hate to think what would have happened to them if they had not left it alone. I instructed them to stay away from it, and I'm almost certain that with the decayed state of the island, opening the fissure now would be destruction. I have heard that in the days immediately following Gin's confrontation on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure, for he had seen the mist book fall from Atrus's hands into that very same space. To this end, he would have people, alleged transgressors of the law, thrown into it so that he could observe their fate. Oh my god. The telescope, which still stands there, is one he had built for these callous experiments. It is said that they did not die, but what became of them remains a mystery. It appears that the limits of Gin's optics prevented him from learning their fate. The star field beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a great space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. This is how Atrus explained it after he had fallen into it. But much more than that we've never understood, and we're never able to calculate upon its origins, we're never able to conclude upon its origins. But Riven, the visions taught me that it was born out of the will of the Harken, perhaps for some greater purpose that we cannot yet understand. I still remember Atrus' words from his journal. I realized the moment I fell into the fissure. I don't need help reading this. I know this. Will of the Maker? From Will of the Maker. Oh, perhaps. Okay. I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse. I don't need help reading that one. I know that like the back of my hand. There must be some great reason behind it. I neglected to mention it. Explain? The unique shape of one of the great daggers which appeared during our escape from Riven, the very design that stands vertically at the end of that's a name, the A is capitalized, has been adopted by the moiety as the symbol of the cave. So the dagger of the moiety was adopted from a dagger that appeared whenever they escaped the first time. It is a sacred symbol for them. It is the representation of all of their doctrines and the representation of me. Alatuan? Okay. I don't recognize that name anywhere. I also don't recognize Eddie either. They have their own mythical explanation regarding its sudden origins. I haven't told them that I wrote it into this age along with all the other daggers. It's strange how such a young religion can be so unbecoming even to their own god, and I have tried to dissuade them of the Alatuan is a local's name of the star fissure. Oh, okay, that's I also couldn't make it out then. Okay, got you. Okay, that's why I didn't recognize it. Cool. Notion of the symbols contains so much power. The enemy uses this against them. They are fearful of Gen's symbol and are terrified by his symbolic use of the wark, 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 W. I'm trying to say different pronunciations. I'm saying the same pronunciation over and over and over again. That's the fish. Okay. I think that's the name of the fish that I've been calling Gen's fish this entire time. The wark. The wark. Wark. I don't know. That thing. But they don't want to hear this from me. Perhaps my wark. Okay. Perhaps my attempts have even caused some of the younger members of the moiety to doubt that I am Catherine. My name encourages with those who say they follow Gen have been discouraging. I have hoped to have some communication with the surface villagers, but they always flee from me. But I have heard news of some of the villagers' beliefs regarding Gen. From after we trapped Gen on Riven, he claimed he was responsible for the daggers, placing them around the isle as a reminder of their failure. That, yeah, of course, Gen would take credit for that. I'm the village in the village circles. It is told that this was a primitive act performed by Gen to make the beginning of a period of something, at the end of which, if they have proven their devotion to him, they will be delivered unto a new and better existence. So basically, like probation kind of type thing, or what is that called? What is that called? Um, the word escapes my mind, but in the Catholic religion, there's like uh a place you go to before you go to heaven to like cleanse yourself of like all the minor sins that you've done. And that's what is that place called? That's basically what this is. I will continue to try to reach them. The doors open and Gen is free. Gen has the ability to create working books. In fact, he has written one age before I arrived, but has kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest ministers were aware until now. I am not sure. Perhaps he has written others. Purgatory. Thank you. Purgatory. Yes. Other news. A few years ago, before the moiety were formed, before the moiety were forced into hiding, one of them managed to steal what appeared to be a textbook that Gen had intended to destroy. It had been partially written. That did not work, but did not work. They didn't tell me about it until now because they thought it was useless. Back then, none of Gen's books worked, but instead of correcting the problem at its source, he blamed it on the impure wood of the Riven forest and proceeded to engineer a mechanical remedy, a complex series of domes to heal his books. inherent flaw to heal his book's inherent flaws. One of these one of the consequences of this crude solution, however, was that the domes demanded huge amounts of energy, and the related problems delayed his success for quite some time. At last, however, he finished his work and was finally able to link to an age, but he kept his success extremely well hidden. However, for some reason, on another, he made modifications to the domes, which made it made it our that his way the domes brought life to dead books. Perhaps he means to leave us or to lure us into using the books on the domes. He can't believe that we would blindly swallow this suicidal seed, but we wouldn't know that we have one of his books, the stolen burnt book. This is a possibility of there is a possibility of have have read burnt book. Age it depicts would have usable as new home for the moiety must be modified. Oh, so the age we're in now is one of Gen's unused ages, and they modified it to use it as a base for the moiety. Okay, I will dream. Have created a group to solve combination that will open the domes. Once open, we can power the hatch book. I do not think Gen will interfere. He will he will leave the bait. This is a depiction of their new world, the tree hive, and like the birds that we saw kind of flying. Have been writing the moiety's age. Now must acquire second book from Gin. This is the tension. A rain behind my vision. And Nia and Eddie stay close. Much has happened. Almost everything is prepared. We have stolen another book, but I am concerned Gin will miss it. We have also discovered that the combinations for entering the domes, but we have not discovered the method for powering them. By powering one burnt book with Gen's domes, we will be able to link to this age, but we will only have access to the domes for a short time before we are discovered. Therefore, we can only use the domes once. I must find another way to make the books work. The greedy images of Gen's books and one burnt book all seem to share the same sickness. If they are not powered, the images are black. It might be possible to create the revision with only. What is this showing? It's like a brick wall, the brick wall, and then you can't go through. That's one of the color eyes, actually. Hold on. Possibly blue. So it's saying blue makes a brick wall. I don't even know how to start interpreting this. Possibly some kind of like power control. Real right, substance into moiety age. Okay. All is ready. Now all we can do is wait for word from the Moits and something who are on the lookout for Gin to power and use the domes. When he does that, we will have access to one of Gen's domes just long enough. After linking to the age, which I've written, I only have to locate the book window substance and then refine on adapt it. Laying this window over the gateway image should heal the book and make them work. This will allow me to use the second stolen book and return to Riven with more of the book windows. We will then no longer have to rely on Gen's clumsy domes. This is her lodging out the substance that can fix the books. It's like she's giving the books glasses. Hey, glasses. I'm sensing a theme today. That's actually really cool. So she needed to fix the gateway image to actually be able to link to the new age. So she used one of Grood's. I was combining Gin and Crude. I was combining the name Gin and the word Crude and made Grood. That is his name from now on. He will 100% forever be Grood because that is basically his personality in a nutshell. But she used one of Gin's Crude machines to then link to the age that she had written the material she needed to make the book work, and then she brought that book, or then she used another linking book to basically come back, so that way Gen's book, or the book, wasn't just sitting in Gen's contraption, but she brought with her a bunch more of the what she calls book windows to make the books work. That's actually genius. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. I laugh at these plans. I sound like Atrus. Very true. It runs in the family. No wonder he liked you. I'm risking my life and I feel no fear, only anxiety. Perhaps it is the substance of my nightmares, the fissure, like a great wound. It's opening, it stains the riven soil with blood. I hold up the mighty knife and the voices grow so loud. For their for their part, the Moiety have complete faith that I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. It is the fulfillment of their prophecy, but they are also fearful and tense. I don't know what they will think or do if I fail. Well, I think we can say she succeeded. We're sitting in her world right now. It is done. It seems too good to be true. I feel like it's all still a dream. We have already evacuated all of the moiety to this new age. It is beautiful and I am pleased. At last, my people will live in safety and comfort. They stand under the blue sky unafraid and baffled by their freedom. They were happy. They named it Tay. So this is the age of Tay, Tey. That's actually a very beautiful name. I like that name. Tay is Catherine's age of the moiety. Okay. There's still much to be done. We are not protected yet. The only way to completely safeguard this place is to destroy the book which links to here from Riven. But I don't even know how to bring this up to the moiety. They will be extremely reluctant about destroying their only link to Riven. I shake this hesitation. I would be crafting off my only something, but for the sake, it must be done. I'm anxious to know if our activities have aroused Gen's suspicions. If so, we must act quickly. Even so, I feel that now we are Spurs something. Tomorrow I will return to Riven to see Gen's reaction for myself, but tonight I finally rest. Okay, well, we can clearly see that when she returned to Riven, she got captured. Okay, that's the last of the entry. Oh my gosh, okay. I forgot how dense the reading is in this game. But it gave us a lot of good information. Okay. Hi. She got saved by the moiety, became their deity, just like Gen was the deity for the Rivenese. And essentially a civil war broke out between the moiety and between Catherine and Gen. Thank you. I don't know what you're saying, but thank you. You're clearly helping me. Yeah, so this is where Catherine is. Looks like where she's being held captive. That showed Catherine. We got our trap book back. Now we have to figure out how to get to Gen, which means we need to figure out how to get to that new age. We got another code. We got the ice cream code. So they said there was like some kind of safety pin or something. Like, we found 4 out of the 5 domes. We're not going to be able to find the 5th one because that island is apparently very far away from all the other islands. Whoa, we just got encased.